everybody, and welcome. We're back. It's Renewable English, your favourite free climate change awareness program, course, whatever you want to call it. And today we're talking about something I am a little bit obsessed with, and that's school. Being a teacher, I'm guessing school is one of those things I probably should be obsessed with. So you can see here, just sorry. There's the YouTube page. Give us a follow on the old socials, and all sorts of information throughout the week. This next week's going to be a really exciting one because next Thursday it's the final countdown, it's the final lesson, and after it, all of this hair, it's all going in the bin, for a great cause, all for Kids Against Plastic. Now, coming up very soon, we do have something from Kids Against Plastic, so stay tuned. It was a little workshop and it's all about schools, as I mentioned. Now, my problem here with schools is there's so much to talk about, so much. There are so many things that you can do if you're at school, if you're a teacher, if you're a student, whatever you are. There are so many things that you can do to make a difference to the environment and also to get involved in activism. It's the perfect place to start because you're there with your friends and you can see collective action at work. So it's a really good place for you to start thinking about the steps that you can take to make the planet a better place individually and collectively. You can all get together and you can pester your teachers to teach you more about the environment, to teach you more about things we can do to help the environment. You can pester your teachers about lunch boxes, about not using plastic in certain places. You can also work hard on being a plastic clever school, which is an initiative from Kids Against Plastic. So there are loads of different things you can do. I'm going to give you just a couple of words four words as always for our vocabulary. We're going to talk about this in a while. Sheets of paper. Now when you're working in your books, you need to make sure that you always use both sides of your paper. Do not waste any of that lovely tree that you've cut down. Make sure you use every last inch of it. You might want to take tidier notes than I have though. I've got this one left for today. Or go and look for a recycled book or something like that, because the more recycled paper you're using, the better it is for the environment. This one here, take one of these to school, guys. Don't take a fresh plastic bottle every day. That's not cool. It's really uncool, in fact. So get yourself a refillable bottle and take it everywhere with you. And then if you come across one of these, a water fountain, you can fill it up. I live in a very, 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 very hot place. And here, you need to drink water all the time. Right now, I know it's not a reusable bottle. You can drink water out of anything, really. But throughout the streets, there are water fountains in lots of places, which is a good and a bad thing, because some people just press it and walk away and don't use it much. And obviously, in these precarious times, you don't really want to be putting your mouth and sharing everybody's germs. So, but water fountains generally are a pretty good thing. There's another wonderful thing where you can get water from. Well, most of us can, because we do tend to live in the developed world. You can drink it from the tap. A lot of people say, but it doesn't taste as good as bottled water. Guess what? Bottled water uses 3 times as much water to make the bottle than is inside the bottle. Not to mention the plastic that is then created afterwards. So refillable bottles are pretty useful. And then this one at the bottom here, your packed lunch. Now, My daughter Ali doesn't have a packed lunch, but she does take a snack into school every day. She uses a Tupperware and eats fruit. She doesn't have, you know, packets of junk to eat. So in your packed lunch, try using, you know, reusable things again. So if you're having a sandwich, maybe use a piece of paper that you can use again. The wax paper is really cool. And not stuff like cling film or glad wrap or plastic wrap, because that can't even be recycled. Just go straight to landfill, or you put it in the recycling thinking it's plastic and it can't be. That's called wish cycling, something we need to avoid. So our quote this week from the amazing Nelson Mandela: education is the most powerful tool to change the world. And it is. In all aspects, with social justice issues, with any kind of equality that we're looking for. Everything comes through education. Um, Hate is not innate. Hate is learned. So people who have learned to hate, you can see that that has been education. It's bad education, but it's an education they've received from somewhere. So we can also educate the other way. But also, a big problem with environmental issues is people haven't been educated to do it properly. People haven't been educated about the problems with the environment. As Inaya says there, education is very important. Absolutely. And if your teachers aren't teaching you about, you know, the rights and wrongs in the world, then maybe ask them to. Maybe they also need to be educated. And the big thing here about education is you do need to have an open mind. And that's one wonderful thing about younger people in the world. You tend to have an open mind. You tend to go into your classes thinking, today I can learn. Today I can find out something new. And you can pass that on to your friends, and you can pass it on to other people as well. So education is absolutely vital. We're lucky that people like Inaya, very young but very awake to problems in the world. She does loads and loads of work picking up litter and cleaning up issues around the planet, where she lives, obviously. But she's doing good things. But I'm certain that Inaya would be the first person to admit that she doesn't know everything, and she's happy to learn even more. So that's the attitude we need. We need to go in with an open mind that education can help us and can push us in the right direction. So let's move on now to our good friend, our ever alive. Oh, no, before we move on to unfun facts, actually, we're going to watch a quick video. This is a video that was made in a brilliant workshop with Common Seas and Kids Against Plastic. This young lady who's in the chat right there, right now, Inaya, is actually in this video. So I'd like you guys to watch this video and see the way that people can think about the future, the way people can, young people can look and see change in the future, because they're the people that are going to be taking the world forward. And let's see what their ideas are for a better future. I absolutely love this video. I cannot stop watching it. So when you're ready, here we go. Let's see what the kids of today see about the school of tomorrow. And the best thing about this is they're realistic. They're not living in a dream world. These are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids against plastic who are looking to improve the world, but they're not living in a dream world. They're not saying, oh, in 10 years, all the carbon emissions will be gone and everything will be amazing. No, they're being realistic about things that we can change, and if we work together and if we all use our voice, then they will change. So let's check out this amazing video.
I think children should be campaigning because it's really easy to do. and it can make such big changes.
Seeing the future of schools is really kids leading the action as well, because as we've heard, young people have so many amazing ideas and they just need to be listened to more in school, because school is for young people.
Encourage me to do more environmentally friendly things.
Well, all the school uniforms are made out of natural materials like wool and cotton, not nylon and things, and then there won't be any microfibres being washed out into the sea.
So I think that there should be a national curriculum for the school to teach all the children about litter and why it's really important not to litter, and also what harm it can do to our environment.
All the children are doing litter picks.
And there's a litter picker as part of the school uniform.
We use plastic in like art and stuff, and not just throw it into the bin, like try and use it in art again.
Water fountains at school. Everybody using a refillable bottle.
I think they should have their school garden, so they don't have to buy in the vegetables. They can grow it, and then they go out every class, take it in turns to pick stuff.
And there's loads of plants on them, so they kind of help stop global warming. They'd probably look like a rainforest just shaped as a school.
And outside classrooms, so they just go out into the woods and have lessons in the woods.
I think we can all agree that none of those are particularly unattainable ideas, are they? Let's be honest, they're all achievable. What I really love the idea of a curriculum based, that has environmental issues in it. Of course, I mean that's what we're doing here at Renewable English. But I also love the idea of gardens at school where you can grow vegetables, you can see it growing, and I don't know, that kind of thing for me is absolutely vital and super fun for students to get involved with as well. Just to see that what they can do and how easy it really is to grow stuff. I'll be showing you in the next class probably my tomato plants and how they're coming along. And I'll be honest, I haven't done much with them. I remember they were notoriously difficult to grow in the UK, but I'll tell you what, here in Spain, woo! Yeah, they grow like weeds here. So then, let's check out our good friend, our wonderful friend. He's got a new pair of glasses this week. Here he comes. It's Unfun Frank.
Hello everybody, it's me again, Unfun Frank, with my unfun facts. And today they're all about school. Now, I used to love school. It was my favourite place to go. And my favourite time was lunchtime. And I would always eat all of my food at lunchtime, which is one of the problems nowadays because, well, the first fact here, an average junior high school in the United States of America wastes around 18,000 kilos of food per year, more or less. Now, paper. I use paper. I try not to use it very much. But the next fact is, if 133,000 schools switched to recycle paper, they would save around 6 million trees. That's a lot of trees, isn't it? Oh, the next one here. This is crazy. American schools spend more than $7.5 billion on energy, on electricity, on heating and things like that. That's more than books and computers combined. More than all of the books and computers. Isn't that crazy? And the last one, I believe this one, that around 50% of the classrooms have poor air quality. I remember when I was in the classroom at school, I went to an all-boys school when I was a bit older, and I'll tell you what, the air quality in there wasn't very good. 30 teenage boys in a room, oh, it was awfully smelly. Right then, back to Harry for some statements that you need to decide if they're true or false.
Here we go then. So let's check out these facts, and if they're true or false, you can put it in the chat. If you're watching back, put it in the comments, or you can just write it on your worksheet as well, which you can find obviously at www.renewableenglish.com. So here we go. The first fact. Every single school in the US wastes at least 18,000 kilos of food every year. Every single school wastes at least 18,000 kilos of food every year. Is it true or false? Boo-doo-boo-doo-doo. I'm gonna tell ya. It's an average, so not every school. It's false. It is 18,000 kilos, but that's an average. So we can't say every single school does it, because it would change from school to school depending how many students are at the school, how well controlled the diet is. I'm sure there are some schools that are really good and other schools that are not quite as good. So fact number 2, here we go. Using recycled paper could save 6 million trees a year. 6 million trees a year, mate. That's a lot of trees. I know. When did you become Australian? I don't know. It just happened suddenly. It's confusing. 6 million trees. This one is true. It is true. If the 133,000 junior high schools in the USA all use recycled paper, that would save 6 million trees a year. Now, that's a fact, but is it realistic that everybody's going to use recycled paper? It's not realistic. That's a utopia. That's a place that, that would be amazing, but it's not realistic. And the last fact here, schools spend more money on energy than they do on books and computers. That one is true. It's true. It's ridiculous. So these guys are heating their classrooms, they're cooling their classrooms, their lights are on, their computers are on. I can't imagine that it's absolutely essential to be using that much. I know from personal experience, the school I used to work at, I hope that one day people will listen to these crucial facts as well, and that would be amazing. The school I used to work at, now it is a very hot country that I live in. Today is a cold day. It actually rained today, which is the first time I've seen it rain this far into summer in my time here. But the school I used to work at, the whole year round would put the AC on all day. Now, they do have solar power now, but when I was there, they didn't have solar power. So they would just have every single classroom pumping out air conditioning. Not only is that not good for the environment, but it's not good for the kids. It's not good for the people in the classrooms. It's horrible. You get really dry bogies, and who likes dry bogies? They're not the most fun in the world, are they? Itchy, horrible nose. So yeah, it's something that really could be avoided. Now, I'm wary about the time. We do have an interview with Jonathan Dykes from Green Standard Schools. So I'm going to put the interview in here, and this is all about language academies across the world. Language academies across the world. Okay, I have seen lots of language academies. I've worked in lots of language academies, and the amount of waste is obscene. A teacher will come in and think, well, I've got 10 students, so I need 10 copies of this. And they'll do 5 sides and make 10 copies. So you're wasting paper, you're wasting ink, you're wasting electricity, you're wasting all of these different things. So this guy has started Green Standard School, it's called, And it's a way of schools having a check on themselves to try not to overuse certain things and try and be more sustainable. So use waste less electricity and so on and so forth. So I'm going to click over to this interview. It's just a couple of minutes and I'll throw out some questions afterwards. So here we have Jonathan Dykes. He's the co-founder of the Green Standard Schools. Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, pleasure to be here. Sure. Well, it's an association that I started with some colleagues last year, so it's still relatively new. It's a not-for-profit association, I should emphasize, so we're not here to make ourselves wealthy. Essentially, what we decided to do was set up this independent association which was designed to help language schools across the world adopt more environmentally friendly policies and practices.
But what was the inspiration behind it?
Okay, well, back in, I think, 2007, I was running a large language school in Barcelona, and you know, I was trying to get teachers and other people to do the typical things like, you know, switch the lights off when they left a room, not to waste paper by making photocopies they didn't need, and that sort of thing. And you know, some people responded to it. Some people thought, oh, it's just the management trying to save some money. But I thought, okay, well, maybe the best way to do this would be to try to use the environmental protection card and suggest that actually, guys, we're doing this not just to save the school a few euros here and there, but also because we need to protect the environment. It really is becoming a serious issue.
What's your greatest achievement to date?
Well, perhaps, you know, getting the whole thing up and running is a fairly good achievement because, you know, we had to do this with zero budget. It was all done based on a lot of hard work, a lot of goodwill, and a lot of commitment by people who saw this as a worthwhile cause.
Well, it's been wonderful having you on. Thank you very much.
No, pleasure.
I'm going to keep an eye on how things are going with you. And yeah,
okay.
So much. And hopefully hopefully everybody, the hundreds of thousands of millions of people that are watching all of the language schools across the world, because obviously there'll be millions of people watching us.
Yeah.
Hopefully those guys can all join in and try and sign up. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Okay, keep in touch.
Well, there you go. So that was Jonathan Dykes, and he was talking all about his Green Standard Schools. So a few questions for you. I've just told you the answer to the first one. What was he the co-founder of? Well, it's Green Standard Schools. Good job, Harry. Good thinking. Really good. So thank you very much there, Aisha. Are we talking about Jonathan keeping up the good work, or are we talking about us keeping up the good work? I think everybody needs to keep up the good work. Do you remember when he came up with the idea? Can you remember? He mentioned a year. So if you can remember when, and what was the inspiration behind it? What was the inspiration behind it? I mentioned myself, something just there. Aisha, you're the best. Thank you. So it was in 2007 is when he came up with the idea. And he was inspired by when he was working in a language school and he saw the amount of waste that was happening there, and he's brought it about. And his greatest achievement is getting it started. Now, I have to say, with Renewable English, one of my greatest achievements was getting it started. I think another one was a few weeks ago. We had 75 people in a class. Not quite as high this week, but thanks everyone for coming along and joining anyway. So next up, now this is most people's favourite part of the lesson because it doesn't involve this beardy face. Next up are Ali's top tips. So let's have a quick watch. You may have seen them on Instagram already this week or on Facebook. They weren't on Twitter though. So let's have a watch. Oh, there we go.
Didn't see you there, guys. Hi, and welcome to Ali's Top Tips. Use both sides of every page in your notebook. Walk or ride a bike to school. Eat fruit and don't use single-use plastic in your packed lunch. Ask your teachers to teach you about the environment. Don't get new materials every year. Get them when you need them. I've had this bag for 2 years. Thanks for watching. Bye!
So there you go. There were Ali's top tips. Do you have any other top tips? Feel free to chuck them in there below. Or, of course, you can put them, use the hashtag Renewable English. You can even use the hashtag Ali's top tips, or you can send them to us as well. There we go. So nice. And Ali's words are so inspirational. She always makes me want to do as much as I can for the environment. That's absolutely brilliant. And it's the same for you, Anaya, to be honest. We watch your videos all the time. They're absolutely wonderful. We really love them. So yeah, Anaya and Ali, although they live an awfully long way away from each other, they do connect on a bi-weekly basis in the CAP Club. So it's absolutely brilliant. And they are, Aisha, you're right, they're very easy for everyone to apply to their everyday lives. So we're almost at the end of the class. I've had a lovely time today. Thanks for the interaction. It's been lovely to have you here as well, Inaya. It's been great to have you there alongside chatting there all the way. It's been absolutely wonderful. And before we go, I like to always make a planet promise every week. And then it's something that I can try and stick to. Did anyone notice I changed my shirt? Well done if you did. I, Harry Waters, promise to educate myself and my students about environmental issues and what we can do to change them. So what's your planet promise for this week? What's your planet promise in here? There you go. Look at that. And now subscribe so she always knows when we go live. Absolutely wonderful. I think I've said absolutely wonderful about 20 times about Inaya today. I think that basically says what we need to know about that lovely young human being who is doing so many good things to keep Britain tidy. Stay tuned and check her out for that one. Check her out on Instagram. She does some amazing videos. She's really, really wonderful. As I've said many, many times. So that was my planet promise. Now, before we go, next week is the last lesson of the series. Don't worry, we'll be back with more soon. And we'll still be around on Instagram, all up in your faces with all these ideas. But next week, we're talking all about celebrations. It's the last lesson, so we've got to celebrate with a sustainable celebration. I'm thinking of having a vegan barbecue. What do you think? Well, but guess what? Next week as well, after the class, at about this time, so in 7 days, I will be... I'll be taking off my hat and I'll be shaving my head. I'll be shaving my head completely. So, Aisha, her planet promise is to think carefully about everything I buy. There are so many eco-friendly options to choose instead. That is great. So when you're going to school next year, for example, if anyone's going to school, think about recycled paper books. Think about the bag that you have this year. Do you need a new one? Do you need a new pencil case? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. If you don't, maybe don't get it. So I just want to remind you all, as I mentioned before, we do have a fundraiser. So I'm going to put it there again. If you want to go there and donate, it's all going to Kids Against Plastic. Kids Against Plastic. As you can see, this is actually a twice upcycled box. First it was a box, then it was a house, and now it's an amazing size. So I'm raising money for these guys. I'm looking to raise £350 to shave my head live on air. Remember, if I cry, it's okay. It's okay to cry. I have had this hair for quite a long time, so it might be a sad one to see it go. but feel free to donate. We're at 42% so far of the target. We've made £150 so far. Hopefully we can get up to 300. I foolishly made a promise. Oh, I had a disconnection there. I don't know what happened. So as I say, I foolishly made a promise the other day that if I get to £1,000, then I will also shave half of my beard. Now, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near £1,000, so I'm pretty confident. But if you want to go in and donate, please feel free. If you also want to donate to Renewable English to keep it as free as possible, it's always going to be free. I love it. I love doing these classes. I love being able to connect with you guys. Feel free to donate. Also, check out the website. You know the YouTube channel. You're already here. And social media. Get on there. Give us some likes. Give us some shares. Give us some follows. Comment. Do all those things. All of the fun things. And right, that is about that. So I'm going to go now, and I'm going to leave you with my favourite music from my favourite musician, Tommy Francis, his name is. Check out Century City's new EP. It is brilliant. The remix of Cherry Red is exceptional. Oh wow, Aisha said she's donating and it's a must see. I think it's going to be funny. Watching a grown man kind of quiver and shake on air is going to be funny. And I don't know. I mean, I'd like to donate my hair to something, but there's not really enough of it to donate to anyone. But it will definitely be a fun thing to see. So as I say, the outro tune here, same as the intro tune, coming from Tommy Francis. Big thanks to that guy. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining and commenting down there. It's been amazing. It's been great. Thank you so much. Remember, next week is the last episode of the series. We will be back with a new series. And we're also going to be doing some interviews with some young activists. There's one person I've got lined up, and I mean, I know Inaya's here at the moment. I don't want to pressure her live on air to ask her for an interview, but I will be sending her a message on Instagram to see if she'd like to be interviewed by Renewable English about the amazing things that she's doing. But I'm not going to pressure you to answer now, Inaya. Don't worry. We'll have a chat on Saturday the 26th at the next CAP Club. Oh, and one other thing. Before the next meeting, it is going to be Ali's birthday. She's going to be turning 8 on the 23rd. So happy birthday to her. We'll be having a nice sustainable party for her here. And yeah, that is it. Harry out.